My buddy started these kids' business fairs that our kids go to every year, and they got to make their own businesses, everything else. And now there's like, I don't know, 5,500 around the world. But you guys walked in and you saw the tomato plants up front.
Yeah.
That was my youngest son, Cruz, who's 7, by himself, without my help. He wrote down all the questions because he was like, well, I need to figure out how much like it's going to cost me to buy these, how much I can sell these tomatoes for. And then he worked out what the average is because he has some big ones, some small ones, and he worked it all out and used it and then built himself a little business plan. I think I have a picture on it somewhere. This is the kind of stuff, like, dude, there's 0% chance I would have had to be able to do that at 7 years old. Like, but and as long as they stay creative, and that's where I think our people have a natural inclination, is we're pretty creative people just by default. That actually has been shown where a lot of kids are starting to be not creative, but our people are naturally creative. And that's like a ginormous advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get started on episode 2. We are going to be talking about automations, AI, and building the foundation first. So we have Kaylee and Lance with me. Let's just dive in because we were just talking about it and we already have so many ideas. So let's get it rolling.
Yeah. Who wants to start? We're gonna say we're gonna go down the rabbit hole on it, man.
It's
gonna be interesting.
It's gonna roast me. So let's do that. Okay, so I have started, automating a lot of tools inside of the business. Right now, I'm focusing on like conserving energy with my team because I have a very small team. We're moving very, very quickly. So that means that we're spending a lot of money and a lot of energy. And I'm trying to conserve energy as much as possible. So then that way, we start to like get back some of the time that we're putting into things. Because like if we can use finances and energy to keep going at the rate that we're going, then that will save us time, which will, condense us to work at lightning speeds. So the way that I'm planning on doing that is by, if one of my team has to do something more than once, I'm just automating it immediately, even if it costs me a ton of money to get it going, even if it's not the right time to focus on building out this specific system. Like, sure, we could, be making more money if we just drop everything and we just keep hiring more people and we just keep trying to go as fast as we can as a machine. But for me, that machine's going to burn out really quickly if I do it that way. So I'm focusing on, I brought in, like an automations team, basically to help build out an omnichannel operating platform. So we're focusing on end-to-end fulfillment. So from supply chain development to, sales and marketing through the Onion platform and obviously their websites and wherever else they're selling their products to distribution. And then, far beyond that of supporting the actual businesses itself. So we've started building out this tech platform that is integrating all of these other businesses that I'm working on with Haley, with you, with a few other partners of mine. And basically this platform is at the center point of the ecosystem that we're building. And it's I don't need to do that, but I see the purpose of building that now because it will set us up for a strong foundation and, hopefully get us into space, kick us into the atmosphere and just get it going. But it's right now I have one of my staff, she's focusing on her onboarding vendors, which is very, very tedious. And when it's done wrong, everybody's unhappy. We're unhappy, the vendors are unhappy, the customers are unhappy. And we're working through these specific pain points right now on purpose because we need to see what is making us all miserable so that we can fix it. So that's kind of the first step that we've been working on lately. And
yours is, so I'll rebuttal your, the only thing when you said I was going to roast you guys missed the comment prior to us having this conversation, saying all companies have to use AI and it would be da-da-da-da-da, which I'm not in disagreement. I think I'm more in disagreement with the time and how I think it's going to happen because my CTO and I go over this all the time. It's right now, 95% of companies, they're we need AI. For what? We don't know. We just need AI. You're what are you going to do with it? We're not really sure. And you're a little bit different because you're a founder. Well, you're a founder and you're kind of in the newer phases. You're kind of in the middle phases, but you're still newer-ish and don't quite have tons of scale yet on stuff. And so it's easier to implement smaller things there versus like, I mean, some of these companies, like they're not set up for AI to actually be meaningful, because a lot of the things with AI, right, at least the first pieces, are getting actionable insights on your data and getting things in there. And that means your data needs to be cleaned and stored. And we talk about this all the time with my CTO. Like the data is, scientists now, or researchers, even though Elon Musk hates that, I think they're just engineers. They need to clean up the way the data is stored, so you can actually go and get useful information from it. Because right now it's a disaster. Like most big companies, that's why you don't see things meaningfully get done, because the data that they need to train on is just garbage, and they don't have it anywhere. And so there's still a lot of stuff going on, but for everybody like in it, especially our youth that are going into the world, like AI levels the playing field where you no longer have to be technical, and you can build companies just based on what we just talked about just now, and anything that we just talked about, right? Like you've seen it all the time in the stuff that you're doing. And what were you talking about? You were talking about small businesses, and that's what you've been helping them with, right?
Yes, that's my business. It's like virtual operations support, and I help the leaders and visionaries and small business owners just kind of set up the back end of their offices. And that's what they need the support with. It's just understanding the tools that they're utilizing, and again incorporating these like redundant like tasks that they're doing is automated. Like, because a lot of the systems that we use as like example, like Google Workspace, it has all these little setting things you just turn on and activate, and they'll have templates, they'll have a daily agenda sent to them. They'll get all these different tools they can utilize as a small business owner, but they don't do it. So I help them like just see that, or I set them up for set it up for them, their systems. And again, it's having those conversations, even just how are they running their business as far as their CRM systems, their websites and all that. So I build those components for small business owners and organizations. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting, and that's where I think there's going to be tons of opportunity for not just our kids and our people, but anybody in general. If you like literally look at any part of the value chain along automation or data or anything else, like you're going to see a ton of opportunities in every single spot to, like, if you know anything about AI, like, guys, just mess with it and just play with it a little bit, and you'll be able to, it's going to move the world so quickly. Like we're already past kind of layer one, which is like the big large language models, LLMs, like ChatGPT, most notably, you guys would know. But we're actually into layer two now, which is a lot of these programs being built on top of these frontier models. Because just to play in the frontier model game, like 5 years ago, and I think it was Larry Ellison that said something interesting, which is fascinating. He's the owner of Oracle. He goes, just to get at the game or the table, if it's a poker game, your buy-in is $100 billion just to get in that game. Well, the cost of that has come down. Like in our company, we just bought 2 NVIDIA, the supercomputers, and you buy 2 of them, you connect them, and you can run basically LLM models on it and do training and do inference training. And so it's amazing. And what's crazy is people are like, well, that doesn't mean anything to me. But here's just nuts and bolts. What cost $100,000 roughly 5 years ago, you can now get for 10 times less, or roughly about $16,000.
Yeah.
And it's going down. And that plays into something with AI, which is interesting. And this is important for everybody to realize where we are in the phase of this. Like, we're super early. Yeah. We're super, super early. And like Jevon's paradox is like a real thing, where people basically states that like when we have an efficiency gain and we pick up stuff, so like a combustion engine, for example, when we went from being able to drive, 30 miles to where it became you could drive 300 miles on a gas tank, did people just like fill up less? Or did those of us in Phoenix go like, oh, I could drive to San Diego in 1 tank, so I'm going to San Diego more. Yeah. So you actually end up using a lot more. Yeah. The same thing applies for AI and compute. So because it's costing a lot less and the value, like it's down here, it's going to continue to drop. We're having entrepreneurs on this side, and hopefully a lot of our people as well, that are going to be like, oh, we're going to go build all these things over here because it costs like nothing anymore. Exactly. And so it's like, that's where we're going, and it's going to only accelerate. And people are like, I know people are scared of it, but it's like, guys, don't be scared. Like you can't stop it, one, but two, be part of this conversation.
It's like being scared of electricity. Like electricity is everywhere. Like fridges. Like I don't know if you guys have seen that One Life video. That's like usually it makes its round every quarter or so. It's like viral, and it's like basically like black and white, and it's people on the streets walking past like a refrigerator salesman, and people are just like, oh well, like that means like our food won't be like as fresh, or like this means like this and that, and it's like they're questioning this refrigerator. It's like think about looking back at that exact moment and how stupid and how much of a waste of time that was, because it's something that we integrate in our kitchens, and people still cook, people still order food. It didn't take away anything from society. It helped us and it added value to that.
Well, even so I started a TikTok channel, and it's all AI generated. It's a I'm not gonna tell anyone. No, but it's native focus. It's native focus too. And I see the comments that I get on some of my photos. They're like, why are you all focused on empowering native?
She's AZ Native Beauties.
Like, just kidding. But they're like, why are you? It's not creative. You're not being creative. Like you're causing harm to the environment. So again, like as us as Native people, like they're putting environmental impact with AI. So even just like this empowering like TikTok channel, like I'm pushing out this really good content, and I'm getting pushed back by the Native community. Like why are you using AI? Like it impacts you. You know how much water it takes just to generate one photo, and like I have a whole.
Okay, I'm going to jump in real quick to help you on this. So I'm going to jump in real quick. This is important. People say, so this is misconception for everybody out there. Data centers are literally almost the greenest buildings that exist, and people are like, well, there's no way they use so much electricity. It's like, no, what you don't realize is, and people point out water, for example. Roughly, you need about 700 million gallons of water for 100 megawatts. That's an allocation of water, and then it goes immediately, once it's done, back into the ground. And it's so these are not what they used to be. So what Haley's saying, like, yeah, guys, this is fine. Things found in fact are important, and this is what is, listen to your elders all the time. Yes, we listen to our elders, but maybe you should go find truth first. So there's a lot of misconceptions, and don't go with a lot of, to be honest, bullshit and untruths out there, because it's not, and you can't stop the progress, I promise, so you gotta participate and be part of it and learn, and I know a lot of younger ones will. So anyway, sorry, go ahead. I had to drop in that because I was like, no. It's like, no.
My staff is trying to pick up boxes from our suppliers.
See?
Like, it's so intuitive of like what you would be expected to do. What, are you supposed to stop caring for your son? Are you supposed to stop living your life? Are you supposed to, just film content all day long and be like, oh, I'm just going to do it all myself? It's like, then that provides no value for you as a human being with lots of thoughts and opinions and creativity.
What makes you better?
And value.
AI makes you better. AI, so, but that's exactly like, right? Like you're an A player. So AI, what I think it's going to do, and what I've seen so far is, and people are going to roast me for this, but I think it creates hyper-capitalism. Yeah. So, but the other side of that is what people don't realize is, in my opinion, I think, and we can go, this is a whole different thing, we can go down the rabbit hole in this, but it's going to create a universal basic high income. Like everybody, there will be no poverty anymore down the road.
Yeah.
But you're
talking about that
right now. There you go. So, but you people who are already A players are going to get better. Yeah. And so people that understand how to use AI effectively, and we were just talking about this before, we won't say who it was, but using it effectively, like the way Haley's talking about, that's one of the ways to use it. Because yes, she could sit there and film content, and ours is a little bit different because we're actually talking about this stuff. So we need to be here. But maybe we don't have to be here in 20 years, and there'll be a robot, and we'll clone ourselves and whatever. But that's how you move forward on stuff. And guess what? It makes you more productive. You'll create a channel, eventually maybe you'll monetize it and all this other stuff. But that's one of the ways. And guess what? Any of you can go do that right now.
Yeah. My 10-year-old uses AI. I showed him when we did the dad jokes. I was like, just go ask AI for talking about dad jokes. And we're having fun with it. And then now that he has access, because his school gave him those little Chromebooks to do some schoolwork and stuff. And he's like, he's on Mom. He goes, I had a project with my group at school. He's 10 years old. And he goes, and we had to do a pitch. We had to sell something. And I was like, okay, what'd you sell? And then he goes, I had to sell a pencil. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, and I put it in AI, so it gave me, I had to sell paper or something. And he goes, and I put it in AI, and I was like, babe, I was like, use AI responsibly. I was like, don't use it for everything.
Yeah.
But he's just been playing with it and learning like how it's working. But he's like, our team did the best because we had this one single liner of like selling that one item. Yeah.
But it's amazing. So like literally, my buddy started these kids business fairs that our kids go to every year, and they got to make their own businesses, everything else. And now there's like, I don't know, 5,500 around the world. But you guys walked in and you saw the tomato plants up front.
Yeah.
That was my youngest son, Cruz, who's 7, by himself, without my help. He wrote down all the questions because he was like, well, I need to figure out how much like it's going to cost me to buy these, how much I can sell these tomatoes for. And then he worked out what the average is because he has some big ones, some small ones, and he worked it all out and used it and then built himself a little business plan. I think I have a picture on it somewhere. I'll have to send it, maybe to post it on this bottom of this so people can see it. But like, this is the kind of stuff, like, dude, there's 0% chance I would have had to be able to do that at 7 years old. Like, but and as long as they stay creative, and that's where I think our people have a natural inclination, is we're pretty creative people just by default. Yeah. That actually has been shown where a lot of kids are starting to be not creative, but our people are naturally creative, and that's like a ginormous advantage.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, it's just so funny because it's like, you know, exactly what your son's doing and exactly what your son's doing. And you know, one of my friend Michelle, like her son, he's like starting to take these like AI video editing courses and stuff like that, and he's starting to edit content for her. And it's like, you know, these kids are getting so talented so young, and it's like, it's just so funny because like then you have these like 30 to 35 year olds, 40-year-olds, etc., that are just like, you know, it's like do AI. And it's like, okay, well then these 10-year-old kids are gonna come for your job. But then if you look at it in the sense that it's like, this is actually a very like normal back to the old ways process, because you used to be taught things as a kid and you used to be able to implement them and you used to feel useful, and like, you know, you would never look at it because there's money attached to it. People are all like, oh, that's like a weird thing to do. And it's like, no, that's like actually the whole purpose of like, you know, a community ecosystem. It's like teaching these young people these valuable skills and then them be able to implement it and put it into practice, so that by the time it's like, you know, they turn 20, they're teaching it to other people. And then, you know, that's getting passed on a lot faster and faster. Like for me, the first time that I ever even met an entrepreneur was when I was 22 years old. I'd never met a single business owner in my entire life. And like, it was like at the headquarters of the startup that I worked at. So I worked at Bon Look, which is this Canadian glasses company. When I started at the company, there was about 11 stores across Canada. And by the time 3-4 years later that I ended up leaving, they had 35 stores across Canada. But when I was a first-time store manager, I used to go to these like QBRs, like quarter business review meetings, and I got to go to the headquarters for the first time. It felt so cool because I was like, wow, people think I'm like reliable, people think I deserve responsibility, and people think that I know what I'm doing, and stuff like that. And then I'd go into these corporate headquarters, and like then I got to meet the marketing team, and I'd get to meet the finance people, and I'd get to meet the product development team, and the CEO told us their story. And she started her business at a kiosk in the mall. Like, so actually she basically used to work for Luxottica, the biggest glasses company monopoly in the world. And she saw the profit margins and she was like, oh, I could do that. So she saw an opportunity in the market. She put it into practice, making glasses for $150 with framed lenses. Started going to a mall kiosk, started, you know, just like selling glasses there. They started off online, but then they had their showroom in Quebec, and people would just come into the headquarters and be like, hey, I was going to order these online, but can I actually just try them on before I do? And so they created the showroom. And for me, like, I heard this story for the first time, like, maybe 7 years ago. And it's like, I don't even, actually, no, 10 years ago. Because I was like 22 when I heard it. And so that to me was the first time that I ever saw somebody talk about the steps that they took in terms of their thought process, in terms of the problem that they saw, the solution that they did, the action that they took, the lessons that they learned from it, and the outcome of prosperity that I ever met an entrepreneur's journey. And if I didn't do that, I don't think I'd be an entrepreneur today.
Well, it's like, I don't know, it's an interesting... Like, it's good that, like, because, we all have our stories, right? How we became entrepreneurs and how things happen. And the way it happened before is going to be a lot different than now. Because what I think is going to start occurring is like you really have kind of two tracks, and education and especially knowledge work is basically zero at this point. Like, sorry, if you're a knowledge-based person, like, yes, great. You're either really deep in a couple areas or one area, like biology or robotics or something like that. Or you're mostly a generalist across 6 to 8 things, and you know a handful of things, and you have a lot of lived experiences. And I think we have a thesis in our company that a lot of the big companies are going to be built by people who are non-technical but have a lot of experience in very deep areas, and they know the problems, and then you can build these things with AI. And it's going to be fascinating to see, because now kids, if they have those experiences, you just have lived experience, you can use AI to help you literally build and go so far into the weeds, as far as you want to know, and you can ask the question and prompt it correctly to learn, like literally your learning curve and the iterative cycle to like thesis, test, result, iterate is like now like this. Versus, I mean, shit, it was fucking be months. So could be months. Now it's like hours or minutes, or like
exactly
15 minutes to find a really good business plan.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I feel like people are so hypercritical of me. They're like, Chelsea, like, why are you doing so much? And like, what, like, how do you do so many things so fast? And I'm like, because like I can.
Yeah.
Like,
People throw rocks at things that shine.
yeah. And it's just like one of those things that I'm just like, I feel like I've always felt like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like every single time I was like in school, every time that I would say something to my parents, every time I would say something to my friends or my family, until I got into the entrepreneurship space, I constantly felt like I was just doing something wrong. I was too much. I was too hyper. I was too passionate. I was too crazy. Like, people used to call me like the crazy native in school and stuff like that. And it's like, I realized very quickly in entrepreneurship, like, oh no, I'm gonna be so good at this, because like everybody constantly talks about doing things. I'm the only one who actually does it. And it's hilarious seeing people's perspective of that now, knowing what I know now. And it's just like, yeah, I still feel like I'm doing something wrong sometimes. Like, it's when you go to touch like something and somebody swats your hand, like that's how it feels. But then like you start to realize like, oh, the people who are doing it are not people that I even want to be. So like, I'm just not
Normalize mistakes.
Yeah.
And normalize like conversations like we're having. Like,
Yeah.
people, we have a lot of people are scared to try things.
Yes.
And like, it's good that like you go around teaching small businesses how to do stuff and empower things, and same thing with what you do, and same thing with what I do as well in my business. Like, and we have so many people that are going to be able to take advantage of like everything that's there. Again, narrative, economics, demographics, all these things are there. AI, like, do you want to be have a great business idea, or do you want to be right on timing?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I want a great business idea. I'm like, no, you want to be catch the timing.
Yeah.
Because listen, you could have the best idea, but you could be 5 years too early.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Yep.
Like, here's an example. There's a guy I know that started, what is the company? We'd all know it. It was, GoFundMe. So GoFundMe.
Okay.
So GoFundMe existed way before it ever became really big, and it was self-bootstrapped. And what ended up happening was they were early, and it didn't take off. And these guys still had their own jobs. They didn't take any outside money, so doing it on their own. There's 2 founders, but it didn't take off until what? Timing, because the payment systems came up.
Yeah.
So PayPal got really big, Stripe got really big, all these payment companies got really big, and then weird, there's a GoFundMe thing.
Yeah.
And so now it's easier, and you marry those, and all of a sudden the timing, boom, goes right. And now they're a multi-billion-dollar company.
It's so funny because I was just thinking about that too when you were saying like me, you, Haley, like it's like most of the time, and I think entrepreneurs, when they come to the space and they're new, they immediately like hear what you're doing and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do that too. And then it's like, no, I'm doing what I'm doing, you're doing what you're doing, you're doing what you're doing, let's all work together. And that's creating like a strong foundation for long-term success. And timing is a huge portion of that, because like, you know, we met like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Me and you met just back in April.
Yeah.
So that's only about like 8 months ago or so.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because like we've moved so quickly.
Yeah.
We've moved slowly. And this is at the same time that this is meant to happen.
Yep.
And it's just like, that's only happening because of the foundations. Like GoFundMe, if they, you know, saw that and then they were just like looking to make a quick buck, they would have shut down. But if they were, you know, pre-existing and they were trying to do something, they had the foundation set up to make it through until the timing was right. And I think that's what business owners, especially like, just people who are focused on the money. If the money is your why, you're going to fail immediately. Like, you need to have like the purpose behind what you're doing. You need to have like the mission and the vision and the drive and the people and the partners, but you also need to have like the aligned value of all the people that you're working with, and you don't
Like, how do you start with yours? Like, when you go to teach your people, how do you teach them when you work with them? Like, when you onboard a new person, like, what are you telling them?
When I onboard, I have a system for it, so I automatically I have an audit. So I audit their back end of their business. I see all the systems that they're utilizing. So that's the first thing I do is like, of course, have conversation with them, get to know their goals. I get to know them and their business. But the first thing I do is just that back office audit and see if they work, if they want to stick to their freemium versions, or are they open to investing into a platform. But I make my recommendations. Again, I'm very personal. So I do get to know the clients that I work with and just see their goals, and even again just conversation, even just being around you too, and seeing how you work with your team too. And I think that's where we kind of like we connect really well because we're both different personalities. And even our chat GPTs are each other's, because we did the same script and I was like, oh, this is my tone and this is your tone. But yeah, I'm very personal.
But the message is the same.
Yeah.
Well, I know why I asked that is because it's interesting. It's a collaboration, right?
Yeah.
And that's wasn't normal before in our culture. It was always, and you see the older generation, right? It's always a competition.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, hang on, you can't work with you guys. Like, I'm competitive with you. Like, I'm going to go beat you in this stuff. And it's like, well, don't get me wrong, I'm going to kick your ass and other stuff. But it's like, no, we can work together and we actually do stuff. And there's collaboration, and people realize this. And it's not the crabs in a bucket, because you see that everywhere in Indian country. But the younger ones now and everybody else in our generations are starting to finally like, okay, hang on. We're starting to all come together and like, we're going to go build cool stuff. And, oh, well, hang on, I need something like Charles, or hey, I need this. Do you guys have this? Or you guys ask me something, I need this. And like, that's how anything gets built. And people don't realize that scales all the way to the very top.
Exactly.
Like, in order to build great companies, they're built on people. And you have to have great culture. And if you don't like push that down into the organization as a leader, like, you can't do it. And that's why it's interesting with the AI piece. Like, that's why I was like, I don't know if it's there yet. I think the data stuff is going to be fascinating, but I think the way for it to permeate completely through an organization, I think we're a fair ways away from that. Because what I think it will actually do, though, this is interesting. I think people with higher EQs and people with face-to-face or more personal businesses will become much more valuable in the future, like servers, because you're going to have a lot of people who are already starting to see it. Like, serving industry took a dump during COVID, but now it's actually starting to come back up because a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. But a lot of knowledge workers, like engineers, for example, junior software engineers are not getting hired because AI can do a lot of your coding stuff. And that was one of the highest paid jobs before. And it hit a peak, I think, in 21 maybe. But it's way down on that. So like, you're going to see all this stuff shift a ton in AI.
Yeah. Just my background in co-working spaces and membership, like just co-working in general, community professional for 10 years. And even I've been having conversations because people are like, how do we get people to still like buy memberships or be a part of this place? I said, because of COVID, things are shifting now. It's like people will pay to be there. I said, you can have a membership or whatever. I was like, people are going to pay money to be there and be present and experience these experiences or events. And I was like, you can start off, I have a co-working membership, like just a simple like $50 a month. And I was like, but they will pay $100 just for them to access that space and be around people. There's a shift of like, okay, well, we're virtual, we can get on this webinar, do whatever, but they will pay now to be there. There
you go.
I mean, me and Haley, when we were working together in the summer in Chicago, like we went to this one co-working space to just kind of like see what their operations were like, and we kind of had an idea to see if we should maybe start doing some like networking days to like start driving in like, people in community to that space. And it's like, if we can start utilizing those spaces like in the same way that like we're doing what we're doing of like trying to find all the right people, then it's like people pay to actually invest into those spaces, because it's like, I mean, like you found me on LinkedIn, and it's like one of those things, and I don't think I answered you the first time
Yeah, don't remember.
To me, like,
Don't remember.
But I was thinking about it yesterday because I was talking to Haley. I was like, I don't even remember what we were like talking about or something.
I don't even remember. I had to go back and look.
But it's just so.
I think
funny.
I think you posted something, and I think you were frustrated
Oh, I'm constantly
on something, and so I think
That's all her posts.
yeah, I think I responded something along those lines because it's like, yeah, I've seen that story before.
Yeah.
And it was something along the lines, yeah, like, hey, don't know who you don't know me, but
Exactly.
Here's some stuff, and
Yeah.
just want to offer some advice.
Exactly. But if
'Cause-
LinkedIn wasn't that like center
Yeah.
point, then we would have never connected.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the co-working spaces. When you get into those spaces, it's like then you meet the people who can help you.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you know, when you're not talking about what you need over and over and over again, you don't find the people who can actually support you.
Well, and it's interesting because that's exactly like what we're working on building, right?
Yeah.
Is that build that community of people. And there's groups, I mean, athletes, and we talked about this stuff before, like talented people, musicians, actors, actresses, stuff like that, the arts people. But there's not really a space for like actually Native American indigenous entrepreneurs. Like there's just nothing. There's nothing that exists. And
Some nonprofits.
there's, some nonprofits, guys. We're going to go ask a bunch of you for a bunch of money. And
But even
go,
some of them still don't know how to build that community, even though we're
Yeah.
community-oriented people.
Yep.
They don't, because they come to me and ask, like, how are you building community? Because I built community in Chicago for 3 different companies, and I'm one of the top to do it. I did the whole ecosystem. I just need to open up my own co-working space.
Exactly.
But they come to me like, how are you building a thriving ecosystem of entrepreneurs, of small business owners, nonprofits, and stuff. So even us as Indigenous or like nonprofits, they're still struggling how to even maintain or keep their communities healthy, I will say.
Yeah.
And it goes going back to just like how empowering each other. I found more empowerment from non-native people.
Yeah.
All other ethnicities. I've managed women empowerment like groups in Chicago.
Can I ask a hard question?
But
Why?
I don't know. Like because Native women
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, Native
I'm gonna go
women
down.
don't like Native women. I don't know why.
There we go.
Yeah.
So there's a piece there, and that's
Yes.
sort of like, okay, well, why is that doesn't exist? Because
Yeah.
again, our people don't call it this bullshit.
Yeah.
And so unless we stand up and be like exactly what you said, sorry, like
Yeah, exactly.
Native-
I was
like, stop
I have
fighting
a
with each other,
whole
guys,
community
like-
of women of every generation that I built this or supported and building this community. Every ethnicity, all different industries. You got mothers, you got grandmothers, you got like small business owners or whatever,
Different
and we
walks of
all
life.
empower one another.
Yeah.
But when I switched to like, okay, I'm working with Indian country now.
Yeah.
Like I have
So, like-
Native women do not
but
want me to.
but here's I have a theory on this
Yeah.
though, because so that's normalized out here, and there's a lot I think that we're going to find in there that will. The problem is like the bar is low right now, but there's a lot that can and have ability, but there's no visibility on how we connect to them, and that's why again we're having this conversation because I think you're going to find a lot because. It'll be really easy for you guys to have a conversation. Listen, if you're a bitch, there's a door and don't let it hit you on the way out.
not holding
Like,
you
thanks
here.
for coming out
Yeah.
because
Go away.
you have to this is a good example.
Yeah.
Like we're friends. Like we were going to do something. I was going to pitch her on something. I don't know, like 6 months, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, listen, she goes, oh, what is it? I'm like, no, hold off on pitching you right now because it's not the right time for you. Because you need to, I've been through enough stuff. I've seen where she's at. I'm like, okay, you need to grow a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can say that because listen, I don't need shit from you.
Want to know why you can say that? Because like I trust you and I respect you, and then when you tell me it's not the right time, I'm not gonna be like, man, like screw you, Lance, like bleh. I'm like, no, it's my fault. I have to look inward and figure out what is wrong with me right now. What do I need to, look in the mirror and see what I need to correct? What do I need to open my mind more? And I accept that. Like, I was like, you didn't make me cry, but I was like crying from frustration because like I was just so mad at the circumstances that I'd put myself in. Like I just went through a divorce. Like I was homeless. I genuinely like had no clue where I was gonna live. Like the business was, waiting for grant money, and I had like basically $450,000 from the pop-up last year that I needed to come into my bank account. I didn't receive half of that for literally, like I received half right after the pop-up was done. So that was like back in January, but all of that was like already spent. So that was me recuperating those costs. If I just got the full 450K, I could have cash managed that, and like, you know, I can cash starve anytime.
Yeah.
And I could have been fine on my feet. And I was just so frustrated with the system. I was frustrated with the nonprofits. I was frustrated with the grant systems. I was frustrated with the vendors. I was frustrated with myself because I put myself into that situation, and like, you know, I have a great opportunity and I'm not able to take it.
Well, I remember, we chatted because I was my buddy, we go on a trip to Cabo every year on his plane. And so we flew down, and that's where I was. I was in Cabo that year, or that week. It was the last week in January.
Show me all the photos.
Yeah, it was fun. I was messing with her. I was like, look at where I'm at. It's way nicer. And I'm like, here's the plane. By the way, yeah, you're homeless there. You're hanging out. Try harder.
No, something that you said to me actually clicked. Like, you were like, I was just like, I just need to know where I'm living. And you're like, Chelsea, you're an entrepreneur, figure it out. And like, I was just like, don't say this to me right now. I don't even want to be an entrepreneur. I'm so sick of being an entrepreneur. It's exhausting. Like, these systems are debilitating me. The people are debilitating me. And it was really funny because when I was like leaving my ex, I basically had the aha moment of that exact quote. And it was really funny because I ended up like, you know, buying him out of my apartment. And like, I just like realized like, oh, this is like our home and you're not paying me to leave. So I really value this place here. I like my energy when I'm here. It's close in proximity to all of the opportunities that I need to be successful in my business. And if you're not paying me to leave, why am I the one who's leaving? And then that's when it clicked. And I was like, you got into a fight, and I was like, I heard you say like, Chelsea, you're an entrepreneur, figure it out. So I did the math quickly in my head, and I was like, hey, even if I like buy this condo, even if I keep this place and rent it out, then I can like do XYZ to write this stuff off, and at the end of the day, I'm still able to pay for this at like a net zero. So why am I so scared? Why am I like, you know, trapping myself in this like toxic cycle of like wasting my energy and my time thinking about where I'm going to be moving next, when I could just use 20K, and I didn't have 20K. I actually went to the bank. I moved $10,000 off of my credit card, and then I moved $5,000 off of the business, and then I had about $5,000 left entirely, and I spent all of my money paying off my ex. And I was just like, this is going to come back to me tenfold because this is freeing up all of my energy that I'm expending right now, and I need to stop thinking about this. So I went to the bank. I, you know, put myself into overdrafting, all that, paid for it, and then boom, one of the 25K grants got paid out 5 minutes later.
Nice.
So I was just like, there we
Life.
go.
Yeah.
Why was I so scared for like 6 months? Like,
Well,
going through that same cycle.
our people know that in spades, though. That's what's interesting about like, it's like most people, like it's weird. I find something interesting, especially when I moved to the US, right? Like, because US is a Christian nation, which awesome. I'm a Christian brown person. One thing that I find interesting, because I don't go to church almost ever, but I know exactly what faith is, and I know, and most people don't know what faith is, and I'm like, because all these people go to church or they do these things, are like, oh, like I have faith. It's like, well, do you? It's like, explain it to me. Explain what faith is. And most of them can't. And they're like, oh, well, it's something we can't see. And I'm like, no, it's the absolute feeling like within all of your being that you know, no matter what happens, something more than you has your back.
Yep.
Like, and you know, like it, and it's, you can feel it in your essence. And I'm like, that's what is core to a lot of our people is like, we know this. So it's like, guys, if you bring that out, then you can trust in Creator and things happen the way they're supposed to, because like, I mean, we're getting really philosophical and shit, but it's like things happen the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. If you look at life, like I'll give you one of the craziest examples. One of my staff, my longest service staff that works for me, great dude, like one of my best friends, worked for me now for 13 years now, going on. So I knew we were always going to work long term, and we're going to have to do something special. He's a very, very talented person, Brian. So my wife was being nice, and she knows I love concerts. And so we go to an Adele concert. And she gets me tickets, surprises me. And I'm like, she's not a concert goer. So she looked at the map, and she was like, oh, well, hang on. Like, up here, it's facing the stage. And she's like, oh, these are good ticket prices, which she didn't realize. And I'll spend money on two things, which is experiences and travel. And I'll spend a lot on that. Everything else, whatever. But we go to the concert, and we get there, and it's in the nosebleeds. And I joke, I mess with her, I was being nice, but I was like, I can't tell. Are those people down there? I'm like, are those people down there? So then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And here's how life works itself. So I'm looking on the StubHub to try to go get a ticket and get new tickets. So I do. I buy tickets. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just come with me. So we go downstairs. Well, what are you going to do with our older tickets? And I'm like, just give them away to somebody. And so she goes outside trying to give them to people. And people looked at her like she had 3 arms or something.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Nope. Oh, we can't take those tickets. So I'm like, she goes, I can't give them away. I'm like, don't worry about it. It'll work out.
Yeah.
So we go to the will call. And there's a lady up at will call, like crying, like bawling her eyes out. And we overhear that she ends up, she bought fake tickets and got scammed.
Oh, no.
And she didn't have the money to buy new tickets. And so I'm like, ding, 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 ding. There's your person. Go give them away. So we go give them away.
Yep.
Get our tickets.
No, I appreciate
So
that.
you think that's where this story would end, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't. So we go down, and I bought tickets right beside the stage.
Yeah.
So we're like 3 rows up right beside the stage. And great tickets, like probably from here to that door away from Adele. It was amazing. And we go sit down, and this is a 21,000 person stadium. And we sit down, and we all have our little, like, the people had their little, like, Adele faces on, so you only have 2 eyes and you're looking. So you can't see anybody. So everybody's doing that. And she hadn't come on yet. And all of a sudden, these people turn, and we go sit down, and all of a sudden, behind the thing, I hear, holy shit. I was like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Comes down, it's my staff and his wife sitting beside me.
Why?
And it gets crazier. She bought fake tickets that morning and got scammed. And so that was the second tickets that they bought too.
Wow.
So all of those things happening the way they are.
Yeah.
If you know math, right? You math geeks out there, combinations or permutations. If you want to find the odds of that happening, those are, so you have to move like, oh, here, one seat in between. And go all these different options, like impossible odds.
But it's energy.
This is life.
Yeah,
this is life.
And I fully believe that too. Like everything, even with starting my business, like fairly recently too. It's like, but I've always had it. I've always had this vision. Like I'm a business owner because I work with everyone. I ask them their whys, but I finally implemented my why. But so I was applying for jobs after I ended my work with a nonprofit. And I was like, okay, like doing stuff, but I was still doing my business. Yeah. And things were going good in my business and everything. I was like, but I need to still pay for my life in Chicago. Yeah. So I was like applying to jobs and easily co-working. I said, I'll get this job at like managing multiple locations in Chicago. It's a regional manager role. I'll get what I want. And I did get the job, but I was literally sitting on it. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy in the fact that I got this job. Yeah. And I'm like sitting there, and I even asked my son, I was like, hey, I got a job. He's like, oh, cool, what? And then I was like, oh, I'm co-working. And then I was like, look at him, and he's off. Don't do it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, and I think that was clue 1 too. And then I was like, but I need to pay these damn bills. Yeah. And then I was like, all right. So then I wrote the letter, email, telling them like, thank you for the opportunity. But I'm not going to take this job. Yeah. And literally the next day, one of my former person that I work with, he calls me. He's like, hey, Haley, he's like, I think you'd be perfect for this opportunity. You'll be doing consulting work with the university, putting together some what's it called? Some cohorts for universities, Indigenous business focus. And I was like, okay. And literally like the next second, because I was literally crying and trying to think about, should I get back into co-working, because I would have to be on site. I would have to be there managing this space. But I was very happy just being very remote and like living my life and being able to go to my son's games, being able to come home to New Mexico and go back to Chicago or just go anywhere, like even here in Arizona, just pop up over here. So that was alignment for me that I let this like it was a good opportunity. I would have taken it if I was in a different space, like probably in the past. But now it's like, no, I'm focusing on my business, and things have been like opportunities have been coming since I believe that was a test for me. It's like, are you going to go back into what you were in and what you were doing for 10 years and you're an expert at, or do you want to push yourself forward? Exactly. And now I'm here.
There's something crazy that happened. I'm going to save this for later on when we chat, but this would be a great conversation for later on, because something that just happened today is exactly what you just said. I had something that just cleared out the way to make sure that I have to focus on what I need to right now. Like crazy.
Which is big
and
picture shit.
It's too soft or too new still a little emotional to talk about, so I don't want to talk
that's
about it.
all
But
right.
it's
We'll
crazy.
work into it whenever you're ready.
Bananas, bananas. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both for sharing your stories. I had a great conversation with you guys. That was actually so much fun.
Yeah.
At like halfway through, I was just like, I don't know what to make. This is so like amazing. But it's like, it's true. Like, it's the energy that is like being like reciprocated back and forth. Like, it's really funny because on my video calls, most of the time I'm like 70% speaker. And I'm so happy sitting here listening to you guys. So thank you for making me show up for once.
Have conversations, right?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. All right, Miigwech for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode.